Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Studio 512 today. Did you know October is Augmented and Alternative Communication Month? Here to tell us more about what this means and its importance is Tiffany Hammond, who is just about to release her first children's book called A Day with No Words, a story inspired by her son. We're happy to have her. Tiffany, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Let's talk about AAC, Augmented and Alternative Communication, and how it's connected to the autism community. Let's put those dots together for people.
Yeah, so AAC is, like you said, Augmented and Alternative Communication, and that just means any communication that exists outside of speech. So you can type, you could spell, you could use pictures, you can use letter boards, any sign language, anything that's outside of speech. And it's important to the autism community because I think it's estimated between 35% and 45% are either non-speaking or they have unreliable speech. And so they use a lot of AAC methods of communication. So right now my son uses an iPad with an app, and he's also learning to spell to communicate as well. So he's kind of using both of those methods right now, and it's really important because it gives them a voice. Yeah. And you're able to see their personality and their humor and their, know what they want and their needs, and it's incredibly important to this population and to others who struggle with speech.
Absolutely, and I can imagine the frustration when you cannot get your point across, even though you're trying your absolute best. Yes. So we're talking a little bit here about your son, Aiden. He's 18. He's actually the person that this book is modeled upon. But you also have another son, Josiah. Can you just tell me a little bit about him as well?
Yeah, Josiah, he's 16. He also has autism, but he is verbal. It's more situationally, so it just depends on how comfortable he is, what the environment is like, and that determines whether he is able to speak in those situations. But he is verbal, and when he does speak, we often need like dictionaries to keep up with him. We're like looking up stuff because he learns so much, he absorbs so much.
Wow.
And he's like his brother in that way, even though his brother doesn't speak, and for many years people assumed that that he was unintelligent and that he didn't want to learn, or that it was too difficult for him to learn. And we're learning that that's not the case, that he's been absorbing all these years. He's 18 years old, and that's 18 years of hearing people talk around him, watching shows around him, listening to music, all of that, and he's absorbed all of that, and he's just now showing us everything that he's learned all those years.
Explosion. Yeah. I will say we've gotten to see a couple pictures of him on TV there, and he has just this megawatt smile. I mean, such a bright smile. So you have to know you've done something right, at least when you see the smile. Right. Let's talk about how you became a developmental psychologist because of your children. I thought you just happened to have this very convenient background. Yeah. Chicken or the egg, though. You understood when raising your boys that you'd like to learn a little bit more.
Yeah, it was, I had already finished my bachelor's, and it was probably like 5 or 6 years later after I got my bachelor's that I was sitting around and I was like, I want to get my master's, but I want to get it in developmental psychology because I want to learn more about, my children, and I went into it being like curious, and and a lot of people in science and stuff, and with the autism community, it's always, they feel like people are trying to fix them. And I wanted out of curious mind, I wanted to learn more about my kids and kind of combine what I knew of them with what science is telling us, and see if they mixed together, or if there's some points where they varied. And I enjoyed getting that degree, and I feel like I feel like it helps me out a little.
Sure, more empathy, more sympathy as a mom, understanding where your boys are coming from. So, okay, let's make sure we talk about the book, A Day with No Words. I asked if this was pseudo-biographical, and you said it's actually a bunch of days that you have truly lived with Aiden that you have based this on.
Yep. We started these days when he was 9 years old or so. And they were inspired by his brother. His brother like came home one day and he was just like, why don't we just talk like Aiden talks? And then it just kind of like clicked. And I was like, hey, let's try it. And we started really small. It was like 30 minutes at a time. And then we would only do it in the house. And then as we did more of the days, we expanded the time, and then we went outside, and then we did it with like the community, and I wrote about it one day. I was on social media one day, and I was like, I don't have anything to say today. And so I was like, well, let me just write about, these days we had, and that post kind of just like took off. I wasn't expecting it to like kind of blow up the way that it did. And when I was approached by an editor and they were like, hey, you look like you write children's books. And I was like, I don't. And they were like, hey, write it about this. And long story short, our connection didn't last, but the book idea was still in my head. So when I had the opportunity to write the book, I was like, I already have the idea. And so like it just I just combined a bunch of experiences that we had in the community. In real life, and going to restaurants and getting his favorite meal and going to the park, and even some of there's like a scene in there where it's like a confrontation between us being outside and another family because they don't always like kind of like understand autism, and so we face a lot of negativity and stuff, and I was like, I need to include that in the book.
Because this is real life.
Yeah. And everything that happens, in that book came pulled from, our life. And I got to work with the amazing Kate Cosgrove, and we got to go back and forth on
beautiful
everything.
Pictures.
Yeah, I was like, he wears this, he does this, he wears glasses. Like, it was all like, my iPad is this color, my son's iPad is this color, like making sure that we were on the same page. And her child also has autism, so it felt like her having that connection.
Kismet.
Made it work.
Absolutely. Okay. We're in our last 20 seconds or so, but what do you want parents and kids, even neurotypical kids, to take away from reading this book?
I want them to know that, people with autism are human just like them. They just connect with the world in a different way. And to also look at their own experiences, and that they don't always communicate with speech either all the time. You're texting, you're writing letters, you're waving, and I wanted them to see all those ways that they communicate without talking, and how it's accepted and it's understood, and to take that understanding and extend it, to my child and to others like them. So.
Really eloquently said. Big hi to your boys from all of us here at Studio 512. And thank you, Tiffany, for your time.
Thank you so much.
Congrats
for having
on the
me.
book.
Thank you.
All right, pre-order your copy of Tiffany's book right now at adaywithnowords.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Best Reviews. Hey friends and fangs, it's time to break out your witch's hat and cauldron because it is spooky season.
That's right, and we're excited to show you a Boo Box today, a spell of surprises that would make great gifts for yourself or someone else in honor of Halloween, of course. So Rosie, what are we starting with?
It's an interesting one. Fun Fact Co. is always working even on Halloween, so they've got a Fun Facts About Death print.
So weird.
Did you know, Blake, that Egyptians loved their cats so much that if they lost a beloved pet, they would shave off their eyebrows in mourning?
I'm not that committed.
Not me either, but you know what? Some really cool stuff to learn about here. Fun and funky gift for the goth in your life.
I love it.
Now let's go for something a little bit more kid-friendly with the Crayola Light Ups for colorable jack-o'-lanterns. Jack-o'-lantern, where you can play with 3 different light up colors, make your marker work light up, and then you can erase it to start all over again. And then we love this. This is too funny. Check out this You've Been Booed Ghost Bag Starter Kit. It's a really fun concept. Surprise your friends or neighbors. It includes gift bags, stationery, and a doorknob hanger to spread a little seasonal cheer.
I love it.
Now let's get into the makeup. My stuff. The Ulta Matte Veil Setting Spray, you see it here in orange, can keep your monster makeup on all night long. And the Solar Flare Lip Topper gives you cosmic shine. I love that idea. If you're going for something shimmery, Blake, the M2U NYC eyeshadow stick here in Champagne can accentuate any Halloween look.
This feels like a spooky season must-have, especially if people that are wearing a lot of makeup at this time. Yes. Okay, well, if you've waited until the last minute to decorate a pumpkin, no worries, you guys. This Halloween foam pumpkin decorating craft kit is perfect for quick, mess-free decorating and can deck out 12 pumpkins with just 1 pack. But that's not all. Oriental Trading also offers Halloween jack-o'-lantern cellophane bags, which are the perfect touch for any spooky gathering. And we filled ours with some treats instead of tricks. And a great addition to this would be the Halloween rubber ducky. He comes in a pack of 50, which makes this an easy choice for classroom giveaways, party favors, or game prizes. The fun just never stops. And of course, we cannot skip the Halloween chocolate, including the Reese's Mini Pumpkins, the ideal ratio of chocolate to peanut butter, in our opinion.
Yeah, in our opinion, for sure. Okay, if you want to go a little higher in though, Blake, Holy Choco Moly's guilt-free chocolate truffles are a hit. They're made with dates and premium dark chocolate for a wholesome treat, even when it isn't Halloween. And for some great toys for a frightfully fun time, let's start with this Monster High Scary Sweet birthday Cupid Asteria doll. Guys, she is so cute. She comes with balloons, invites, birthday cards, gifts, and more for a 1600th birthday celebration.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
All right, and for something the whole family can enjoy, check out the Ghost in the Attic Peaceable Kingdom cooperative board game, which is so cool, Blake. You actually play it in the dark.
I love this idea.
Yeah, it's lots of fun for little ones too. It's recommended for ages 5 and up. And a few more things, including staying warm while trick-or-treating for parents.
Very
this
fashionable.
is the Puffer Hug 418 scarf. It's a 3-in-1 cozy weather accessory, lightweight, versatile, unisex. It's got these deep fleece-lined pockets, perfect for an extra layer under a coat.
Yeah, it sounds like a great must-have for the parents when we're out trick-or-treating. I love this idea. Okay, well, let's not forget about our foldable paper spider hanging decor here in the front, which are some playful accents that can be hung or placed on a table for a unique display and super quick setup, you guys. Now, as we scoot closer more to the food here on our table, we have to mention this fun gift. It's pasta with personality from Pastabilities, Halloween themed, meaning you'll find pumpkin-shaped spiderwebs, ghosts, and more. Now, of course, more candy. It's Halloween after all. So we've got 2 more tasty treats in our box, including the Hershey's Cookies and Cream Harry Potter Magical Friends collection, which features your favorite Wizarding World characters like Dobby and Buckbeak. Plus, you guys, I'm excited for this one. Big gummies, but Shaquille O'Neal style with the Shakalicious XL gummies featuring his famous grin and peach, orange, and berry punch flavors. Now, Rosie, we're always looking for easy decor. So if you're looking for something that's really gonna spice up the spooky season feel, consider these eyeball orb Halloween decorations. They're lightweight and can be easily mixed in with any other decor you may have.
Okay, a little bit spooky for me, but how about this? For all the coffee and tea lovers out there who need something a little on theme for the season, check out this 3D Scaredy Cat mug. It's one design of 20, so it can be mixed, matched, and served in lots of other ways with other pieces in the ceramic set. And if you're on the search for Halloween waffles, and who isn't?
I mean, I am.
Yeah, exactly. Peanuts and Dash collaborated for this jack-o'-lantern mini waffle maker. It creates 4-inch mini waffles with a pumpkin print. They cook quickly, evenly, and are ready to go for add-ons like sprinkles, chocolate sauce, and a whole lot more. And then we've got to talk about your favorite item on the table. All right, Blake. Beetlejuice fans, listen up. Mattel's Fisher-Price Little People Collector Beetlejuice Edition features your favorite characters in a decorative display box. It's a true must-have for fans and collectors, and it's a perfect way, Blake, to wrap up everything we've received in our Boo Box.
That's right, and you can have one too, you guys. All you have to do is scan the QR code on your screen to learn more about the products you've seen today. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Best Reviews.
Welcome back. I love this name. Charlie Crockett, $10 Cowboy, provides a personal glimpse into the musician's perspective as he tours across his home state of Texas. Joining us now is the director of the documentary, Patrick Heafy. Pat, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you here. How did you get a hold of this Charlie Crockett story or the chance to work with him?
Well, one of the producers I work with had the opportunity to produce a show for PBS with Charlie at the Ryman in Nashville. And the first time I heard his music, you know, when you hear the artist's name, you pull up his music or her music and listen to them.
Yeah.
And I was just so intrigued by his music and his sound because it has this old school sound. You know, it's his brand of Texas music, and it's really cool with the mix of blues and kind of country and
all Americana. I love it. And look at this throwback outfit that he's breaking out as well. So there's some homages to old school country in what he does.
That is Charlie today. Charlie, you know, is Charlie, and I think that's what I love about him. He's authentic. You know, he walks the talk, talks the walk, or whatever you want to say. He's
Sure.
great.
Sings the sing.
He's
Well, you told me you were originally contracted to just kind of get the performances, just kind of get social media, but you saw a story developing here. So can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we were doing the multi-track record, so for other purposes and releases potentially, and also get social media content. I produce and direct documentaries. And what happened was, after we were done, I'm like, if we put all this stuff together, this is a documentary. And my editor, Lennon, went ahead and took the content, the on-the-fly interviews, and intertwined it with the songs, which themselves are telling stories of Charlie, his inspiration, and all that. And altogether, that's what happened. And it was great. 4 days filming here in Texas.
Lovely. So you're calling it a docu-music film.
Yeah, because it's really capturing a moment in time. We're not digging too deeply into his history. He touches on it. What I'd like this film to do is to intrigue people to want to know more about Charlie, to know more about his music, to explore now probably the 2, 3, now maybe 4 albums he's produced since that album in the spring of 24.
Wow. Okay, he's moving and shaking, isn't he?
Oh, he does not stop. He's recording right now in LA with Shooter Jennings.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about what you learned from Charlie? Anything that stood out to you? I know we can't tell his entire life story in the 3 minutes that we've got here, but anything that you were like, wow, that's really intriguing to me.
Well, the fact is, I'm a New Yorker, and he's traveled the world, but he spent a lot of time in New York. He spent time on the subway, busking, with his train robbers. And I had no idea that he was working the N&R train, and I used to take that down to my office on 23rd Street.
No way.
Yeah. So we have a lot of the common view or always experience of experiencing the city through the subway. Except for I would have been the guy just watching him, probably walking away.
Hopefully throwing $1 in, but we'll say it's amazing because I always think you have to have such fortitude to be able to perform and busk like that because people can be unkind. You've got to be really proud of your talents and you've got to be really willing to put yourself out there. And I think that probably captures a lot about him.
Absolutely, and that's actually also in the name $10 Cowboy. He talks about that in the film. Also the dedication to the craft, the respect for the history of music. And it's not just like country, it's all music. And that's what, I think is some of the cool stuff, and seeing how hard they work, him and the band and the crew. Yeah. I couldn't do touring like these guys do. No way.
Yeah.
Grueling.
Grueling, I think, is a really appropriate term for it. When we talk about Americana music, this is kind of what he puts together, right? All of these different influences. And so if somebody hasn't listened to Charlie Crockett before, what would you say about listening to him when you did it, when you were like, I'm going to research this artist, and how you felt listening to all that?
We touched on it a little bit earlier. I feel like it's a time machine. I think his his lyrics and his writing is contemporary, but the style and the sound it could have been recorded 50 years ago.
Oh, interesting.
And there's definitely that influence, and I like that. But it's also, he's got this blues sound, which is really cool, and he mixes so much. A lot of, Americana, we use this term, and I get it. We want to put labels on everything, right? But
it's natural for the human brain.
But Charlie's Charlie. If you're interested in good music, what's the saying? There's two kinds of music: good music and bad music. I like good music. It doesn't matter the genre.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, well, we've got something exciting. I mean, you have already premiered your docu-music film, but we've got something going on just today down at the Bullock Museum.
Yeah. So 2:00, we've got our encore screening at the Bullock IMAX, and I think it's a pretty big theater. I'm sure there's some seats available. So if people wanted to check it out, it's going to be a lot of fun. And I've never seen this film on a screen that size, so it's going to be something. And I hear the sound is awesome, and the recording is awesome. It's authentic. We didn't change anything with the music. It's just a straight mix. So there's no fixes.
Wow.
So you feel, you experience the music as the folks did in the Broken Spoke and in the Longhorn Ballroom and all the different venues we were at. So
wow.
I think that's something I'm proud of, and I think that Charlie is just a pro in general, and he gets it that sometimes these he might play things a little differently than they were on the recording.
Sure.
But it's still great. It's actually a version of it that that people can cherish. I was there when he did it that way.
Yeah, and what talent to be able to perform so professionally every single time. Pat, we'll have to leave it there. Congratulations on the film. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Austin.
All right, yeah, thank you, Austin. For more information on the documentary, check out Patrick on Instagram at Patrick Heafy, or keep up with Charlie's journey by visiting charliecrockett.com. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by The Joint Chiropractic. The Joint Chiropractic offers a refreshing alternative to traditional clinics, one built around convenience, affordability, and accessibility. Owner and chiropractor Dr. Ryan Vale is here to tell us more, and we're happy to have him. Dr. Ryan, what makes The Joint Chiropractic different from maybe a traditional chiropractic clinic?
So typical traditional chiropractors, you make an appointment, you got to be there on time. At the Joint Chiropractic, we love that we're walk-in available. You don't need appointments, and we also have almost 20 locations throughout the Austin region. So once you go to one, you can go to all of them. We almost have 1,000 nationwide as well. So whenever people are traveling, they love that convenience to be able to stop in and get that appointment that they need.
All right, let's talk about what a new patient can expect from their first visit, because you treat everyone differently. They can just walk into the clinic, but every single case is unique.
Absolutely. So the thing that I love about the Joint is, like I said, you can walk right in, get that appointment. You're going to start with your WC, the wellness coordinator. They're kind of the hands approach on. They're going to help you with your paperwork if need be. After that, you don't have to meet with no medical assistant or anything. You jump straight in with the chiropractor. They're going to sit down one-on-one with you. They're going to go through an examination, ask you what your goals are, what you want out of the chiropractic care, what's going on, and then based off of that, they're going to formulate a treatment plan with you that works for your schedule.
What kind of ailments do you see besides what I would typically think of as back pain?
Right, so most people think, oh, my back hurts and you go to the chiropractor. But we do also see neck pain or people that have vertigo, which is dizziness. We see a lot of migraines and headaches, right? So a lot of those computer people, they have a lot of headaches and migraines because they're stuck on those screens all day long. But we treat everyone from a newborn baby all the way to well into your Medicare years. So we see everything. We see shoulders, we see wrists and elbows, we see knees.
I personally would love to hear every bone get cracked in my
Absolutely.
body, but not everybody likes that.
Some are afraid, right?
Yeah.
So I love this question because that's what stops most people from coming into the chiropractor is they're scared, right? And that's what I want to tell everyone is the last thing you want to do is stay in pain just because you're afraid of what might happen. We are all board certified at the joint, so every single chiropractor you see is going to be a doctor that's board certified. We're trained to treat all the way from babies, so we can be as gentle as possible to, like the mightiest, hulkiest person, or the person who just wants a good crack like you, right? But truthfully, we can tailor it to where there's different adjustment styles. There's some adjustment styles where you won't even hear the cracking sound if you're afraid of it, all the way up to whatever that patient is needing.
Okay, we're Dr. Ryan. We really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
There are locations across Austin and Central Texas. Find the one nearest you at thejoint.com/Austin. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by The Joint Chiropractic. Welcome back. Dallas is just a quick trip from Austin, depending on when you get on I-35, and there's no better time to enjoy the city than the fall. Joining us now with getaway tips to one of the largest cities in the entire country, which means they have a lot going on, is Kristen Finan with Austin Travels Magazine. Kristen, good morning.
Good morning.
Lovely to see you, friend. Okay, what's so special about Dallas? Why does it make for a great little road trip?
Well, I mean, I love being in Austin anyway because we've got San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas all at our disposal within 3 hours or less. So always love, shouting out all three. But Dallas has become one of my favorites just because it is so huge and it's so diverse and there's always something going on. So we're finding ourselves every 2 or 3 months just hopping in the car and going and finding out what's going on, and fall is absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and not too far away, so it can just be a day trip up and back if you really need it to be, but of course a weekend would be absolutely fantastic.
Exactly. I was there last week and we went for one night. It was my daughter's birthday and that was all we could get away for, and we still had the most spectacular time.
Well, did that include the Fairmont?
It did, which is part of the reason. So we stayed.
It can't be bad.
It was nice, yes. We stayed at the Fairmont Dallas, and that is right downtown, and it's in the museum district, which is one of my favorite museum districts in the country because there is such a wide variety of things to do that it is so much fun. But we went to the Fairmont and it was her birthday, and they found out it was her birthday and they went crazy. The hospitality director, Philip, they put balloons in her room and macaroons and all of these things, and they're just known for amazing hospitality. So anywhere that can make you feel that special and welcome kind of on the fly, I just think is so incredible. And then it's a big hotel. It's got 545 rooms, a beautiful rooftop pool that we love sitting out by, and you could really just make that your destination if you wanted to too, if you have a quick getaway.
I love hotels, so yeah, I could stay there just the whole time.
Yeah,
but
you gotta go.
For you who wants to get out and about, let's talk about Cafe Dior.
Okay, this was another one perfect to do with my 17-year-old on her birthday. It's one of the only Cafe Dior's in the country, and it just opened this year.
Are we talking Dior?
We're talking Dior. So it's in Highland Park Village, which is a really upscale, like boutique
She got
shopping.
spoiled.
Yes, she did. She did. We didn't buy anything else there. But Dior, on the second floor, they had this gorgeous cafe. And there's this chef, Dominique Crenn, who's a Michelin-starred amazing chef out of San Francisco. And she is running the cafe. And so everything there is like a work of art too. So you walk through the bottom floor and you see all the purses and shoes and everything. Then you go upstairs and you order things that are also like this amazing work of art. And they have this afternoon tea service that's incredible. But they also have like a la carte. So you could just, they do walk-ins. You can just sit down, grab a champagne or a tea, get a little tart, as your lunch. And it's just so precious, beautiful, and unforgettable.
Oh, it sounds really sweet for mother-daughter time. And I am obsessed with an afternoon tea if I can ever get a hold of one. So that's a great one to know about.
Yes.
Speaking of the museum district you were talking about earlier, Dallas Museum of Art.
Yes, so this is one of my favorite museums in the country. I'm a big art person, and this is one of those museums where it's like, no matter who your favorite artist is, they're gonna have 1 or 2 pieces. So I absolutely love that. And then they have different traveling exhibitions. And then one thing that we did that's so fun too is they have a Sunday brunch. And so you can go,
nice.
The museum itself is free, you can go anytime, but the Sunday brunch, there's like a pianist that's playing like Bruno Mars and like really fun hits and like cool stuff. And then they also have like installations, and they have different activations. So we had somebody that was a poet with a typewriter, and you just tell her a few things, and then she wrote this poem, and mine was so beautiful and inspiring. I actually framed it and put it on my desk. It was so special.
To have someone who is like that sharp as an artist, I've seen a couple of these like live poets that write on postcards or type something for you in real time.
Like 30 seconds. And it was on this cute paper, and I was like, this is perfect.
That is so cool. All right, okay, this has come up a lot actually in the office because one of our directors is obsessed with it, and he and his wife just checked it out in Denver.
Okay.
Meow Wolf.
Yes. So I was so excited when they said they were coming to Texas, and they're coming to Grapevine, or they came to Grapevine. They've been there for a little while now. Grapevine's close to Dallas, less than an hour. And what I love is Meow Wolf is totally immersive. So basically it's like an interactive art museum, and it's super family friendly. So everything is unexpected. Like they have this storyline where they're saying like, oh, you've gone into this house and you're looking for a missing child, right? And then there's all these clues along the way, but like you open up the refrigerator door and it's actually a secret tunnel, and you open up like the dryer and it's a slide. And so the kids love it just because it's fun. And then they actually incorporate artists from all around the city to design it. So it's really like homegrown, but it's also like totally unbelievable, unlike anything you've ever seen.
I have seen that there are like multiple stories of like just this totally immersive experience, vibrant colors, the whole thing. I mean, it seems a little bit overwhelming, if I'm honest, for like my taste.
Yes.
But I can see how kids would be absolutely wowed by it.
Yeah, it's very fluorescent, it's very bright. And
fluorescent's a good word.
And it's right in the heart of Grapevine. And I like to shout out Grapevine for the holidays too, because they go really crazy, especially for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. So they do like a train ride to the North Pole, and they do like glass blowing of ornaments and stuff. So it's really fun to kind of tie that in if you're going to Dallas anyways.
Absolutely, and I'm glad you brought up the holidays, because the next time I see you should be November, December. What's going on for the magazine?
Oh, well, we've got all your guides, all the lights. We've got a roundup of all the like small hill country holidays, festivities that we all love, and then all the things to do in Austin, and then some further flung holiday excitement as well.
Yeah, because it's getting real popular here in Austin, so maybe a little trip outside is a good idea.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, Kristen, thank you as always for your time.
Thank you.
All right, for more travel tips inside Texas and beyond, visit austintravels.com or follow Austin Travels Mag on Instagram. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored on behalf of Aura by Tips on TV.
Hey, did you know October is Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and it comes at a time when protecting personal information is urgent because, and this is really icky, y'all, there's a booming, did you know, $300 billion industry built on selling consumer data, often without your permission. Here to pull back the curtain today is Kristen Lewis, Chief Product Officer at Aura. Kristen is a nationally recognized digital safety expert who's spent nearly a decade developing tech that helps families protect their privacy. So big in this modern world. Kristen, good morning.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
Let's talk about data brokers, what they are, and why consumers like us should be concerned about them.
Sure. So data brokers are companies that collect your personal information and sell it to other businesses. And like you said, Rosie, it is a $300 billion industry. So this is not a small or, uncommon occurrence. These companies can pull from the things you're doing online, public records, your credit card purchases, and they package that all up into a really detailed profile that other businesses, purchase so that they can target you for their products and services.
Kristen, how do these businesses make money off of our personal info?
Yeah, so your everyday actions become a product to sell for these companies. So whether it's the websites you're visiting, the things that you're searching for, the things you're posting on social media, all of that is being compiled into these profiles and being sold to advertisers, employers, anybody who can benefit from either, targeting individuals with that type of profile or verifying certain events for those individuals.
And are there times that data brokers collect more information and maybe times in our life where we should be a little extra cautious?
Yeah, for sure. So if you think about some of those really high value moments for data brokers that land you on a particular marketing list, things like buying a home, having your first baby, buying a car, scammers can purchase those same lists, and they are notorious for timing their schemes around these really stressful and expensive life moments that can leave consumers more susceptible, more vulnerable to responding to these types of scams. So if you think about you're buying a home, you're receiving calls from unknown numbers, or you get a link about completing this, transaction or application related to your new home. These are the types of things that scammers are really intentionally taking advantage of and using to kind of lure you into giving away personal or financial information that you definitely don't want to.
Absolutely. It's kind of a scary thing. So I think the big question as we're hearing you talk today is what can we do? What steps can we take to protect our information online?
Yes, there is hope. That's the good thing. So your information is likely out there. A quick Google search is sometimes all it takes to really open your eyes to how readily accessible information about yourself is available online. There are many data broker sites that allow you to opt out of their service and remove your information, but there are hundreds and hundreds of data brokers, and a dirty little secret is that they can re-add your information after you remove it once. So having a service like Aura's that can handle this for you is a really good bet for most consumers, just because keeping an eye on it yourself can be really overwhelming.
Okay, yeah, you bring up a good point. How can Aura help?
So data broker removal is one of the key services that Aura provides, but we also make it really easy to not only get your information off of the internet, but if anybody already has your information in their hands, we provide all sorts of scam protection so that we can filter out all the noise from those scam and spam calls, texts, and emails, and also provide really valuable monitoring and alerts so that if somebody's using your information to do anything from open a new loan to open a new bank account, you'd be alerted right away so that you can intervene before it's too late.
Yeah, important stuff today. Okay, where can we go for more information?
You can find a lot more information on this topic on our website at aura.com.
The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored on behalf of Aura by Tips on TV.
Hey, we are happy to be able to offer you some help if you're out there searching for jobs. KXAN has partnered with ZipRecruiter to help you find thousands of job openings in Austin and around the country. Just go to kxan.com/jobs where you can search thousands of new postings every single day. Check it out right now and get started on the path to your next career.
We have a lot of fun here on Studio 512. If you missed any of our great segments, be sure to check out our website where we like to post the fun things we do. Our feed covers content like arts and entertainment, food and drink, fashion and beauty, home and garden, stuff for kids and pets, as well as information from area experts. In addition, you can check out web-exclusive content that you can only find on studio512tv.com. We also love to post behind-the-scenes funny moments, outfit inspirations, and more on social media. Find us by searching for Studio 512 on your favorite platform. You don't want to miss a single post. Be sure to follow us, check out our website, and watch us every weekday at 11 a.m. right here on CW Austin.